Good morning from Karlskoga, Sweden. I am going to connect with the E1 trail today. I had an interesting incident yesterday. I got to ride in a police van, a Swedish police van. It's the first for me. But I want to show a little view. I found this little camping spot near this town about 30,000 people. Lovely scene all around. You can hear the waves gently crash against the rocks here. There's a beautiful sunlight. There's a tiny little marina. This is a park, and of course Sweden has laws where well, in some ways nature is open to everyone. You could camp pretty much anywhere as long as you're not disturbing somebody. Though in the police van I learned something interesting. We're very, very, very close to ammunition and weapons manufacturers, and there's a large it's not exactly a nature reserve, but there's large areas of land that are used to test various ammunition. And the policeman said, he pointed out which direction it was. I had already seen it on a map, but he said that, yeah, if you take a picture, if you see something beautiful in nature anywhere near that, don't be surprised if somebody comes and swipes your phone from you. Anyway, and I did hear some interesting noises in the night, but who knows what that was. Why was I in the police van? So, yesterday I was at Kristinam saying goodbye to some friends I made while staying here in the summer, and I was heading towards the E1 trail to begin the journey south to Italy, Quanto Basta. And I set up camp in the rain. I think I mentioned that. Turned out to be a lovely spot. Woke up in this beautiful woods and continued along to Karlskoga. Obviously, the quickest way is to take the highway, but I wasn't going to do a bus. I wasn't going to do anything else. I'm walking, and so I found a way around. Obviously, I'm using Google Maps and all the rest of them, but I thought that I could go generally along the highway all the way to Karlskoga, but turns out I would have had to veer like way around unless I was into trailblazing through thick brush. So I found some lovely paths, passed some other hikers along the way, found just an amazing spot to sit and contemplate and write a little bit. But eventually it got to where, I needed to follow this highway if I wanted to get to the town here before it got too late, because I had a lot of editing and other things to do, and I wanted to find a spot where I could recharge and use Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And so I identified this little place in Karlskoga, and I realized if I'm sticking with the walking, I need to walk along the highway a little bit. I thought, well, I've done this many times. I've walked my whole life all over the world in all kinds of interesting places I'm not supposed to walk, places that aren't designed for it. I'm not going to say I put myself in incredible risk, but I've had some scary moments, sure. But I thought, well, just for a few well, probably like 9 kilometers, I could go along this highway. It's fenced off, but I found a way through, and there just wasn't a big margin, and trucks passing by and stuff like that. But nothing I haven't seen before. But it's not ideal for walking. So I get, I don't know, 4 kilometers, and then a police van, flashing lights appears, and he stops near me. And so, like, wow, this hasn't happened in a while. Yeah, the guy gets out, just, I could tell he had a gentle soul, really nice guy. And he says to me, after he figures out I don't speak Swedish, that they got 2 calls. People, they thought some crazed lunatic was wandering along the highway and was endangering himself. I have another story about where I was placed under endangerment in America, but he was very pleasant. Although I think he was trying to assess my mental faculties. At first, I wasn't sure what he was going to deal with, but then when I spoke back to him, he knew instantly, that I wasn't crazier than the normal person. And so he actually very quickly dispatched with the rigmarole. He had to, he took a picture of my Finnish passport and just said that it was, as they always say. I mean, in this case, it's probably true, but it's like it's more to protect you than it is, to hurt you, right? Like everything in this contemporary world. So anyway, get into the van. Never ridden in a Swedish police van. It wasn't bad at all. Fairly comfortable. And we just have a nice chat. He was intrigued by my mission and my walk. He didn't seem very familiar with hiking trails. He looked like he was a little bit older than me. I think he was definitely somewhere in his 50s. Smiled a lot, was very, very kind, inquisitive. It's probably part of him was still wondering what I was doing walking like that, even though I explained to him just what I explained here. But anyway, so he's trying to figure out where to drop me off, and I say, well, I have a whole bunch of things to catch up with. On my computer, I'm looking for a place that has, where I can plug in and use Wi-Fi and maybe get a little snack. And so he says, well, I'll drop you off at the Red Brick, which is the Brit pub in town. Very nice. If you're ever in Karlskoga, go to the Red Brick. Good food, great beers on tap, of course. And I've basically set up an office there. But anyway, so we get to the Red Brick, and and he knows the manager. The manager comes out. I guess they don't see police vans pulling up to the front door all that often. And he was curious, like, what was going on here, if they were picking up or dropping off or what. And of course, they know each other, the manager and the policeman, and they have like a nice little conversation, and explains the situation with me. I get my stuff, and the management bar turned out to be absolutely just phenomenal. We had a wonderful conversation. He said he knew instantly that he was dealing with, bright, interesting, world traveler. And he asked me so many questions eventually. But yeah, so it was like this was all planned in advance. The bar manager comes out. He helps me with my my gear. I have like 4 different pieces that were out, and it basically just sets me up like an office. Like I have this nice table. I've got my outlets, and I was just like, I just want to make sure this is okay. If I could stay here. And he's like, no, this is your home until 10 o'clock. They close at 10. So this is like 5:30, and I'm like, well, I'll probably be here for a couple hours. I want to keep walking, find a campsite. But we had such an amazing conversation about a wide range of things. Found out that we liked a lot of the same music. He was playing different music, Italian themed somewhat, but also just we found out that we both like opera. We played a little opera, things like that. And you might think that this might turn out differently, but no, he's straight, lives with his girlfriend, whatever. But I had such a wonderful time there. And I was super productive. I have a lot of editing to do for my stories for Substack and other things, and I have correspondence to catch up with. And it could have been a nicer environment. And then, like we had this lovely conversation going, and I was like, and I looked around the room. There weren't many people there, but it was so quiet. I mean, yes, it is one of the countries I know, blah, blah, blah. But it just seemed unusually quiet. Like we were the only ones like having like a real conversation in this place. And that is one of the things of the Quanta Basta tour is just the basic things in life. Good air, sunshine, nature, using your innate intelligence, digging deep to find the joy, the lightness of being, while also exploring the darkness. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Eventually. Just kidding. But it's why we're here. We're natural storytellers. We love connection, and you see so many people. I mean, it's a dead horse talking about people buried in their phones, not knowing how to say hi, basic politeness. But it's more than that. We need deep conversation, and it seems like we're increasingly afraid of it. And it's like, well, it's where we're questioning, where we're scared, where we don't know, where we need somebody else who has a different perspective. We all have a different perspective, and as long as there's a base level of intelligence, I'm not trying to be a snob here, you don't know where it's going to lead, and it can lead to lovely things. Just happenstance, you meet somebody, police van brings you there, and you just share in this rich tapestry of life. And I know we're going to be in touch. That's in the future. He wanted to know about he already wants to buy my book. I told him about the book that I'm producing at the end of E1QB. If you're a donor, you can be assured having a first run. We're just going to do 100 copies. It's going to be the journey and how it connects to everything in my life. I'm so arrogant. But I want to tell some stories. I want to share. The pain, the sorrow, as well as how I came into the light and how I know that everything is okay in this world, which is not an easy thing to say. On some levels, those can just be words, but when it shifts from a real deep alignment and harmony within yourself and around you, everything that happens is good and beautiful. And I thank you for listening. I'm going to cut out now, and have a wonderful, beautiful, bright day. Thank you.